doing? What? Welcome back, friends, to the Sovereign Soul podcast. You know that I am your host, Jacqueline Hopper, and I'm really, really, really excited about the guest that we have today. I was going to say in the studio. It is the studio. It's the Riverside studio that we use, but she's in the studio. She's just on the other side of the world, hours on hours and hours away from me. It's actually tomorrow where you are right now, is it not? For
It's
me, it's
for me,
tomorrow.
it's today. For you, it's tomorrow.
Oh, is that a thing? It's
I'm in the
mind-boggling.
future.
You are, and we can't wait to know what it's going to be like. So I'm so excited to welcome my beautiful new guest, Sal. She's going to introduce herself to you all because you know what? We just do it better ourselves than anybody probably else could. So I always leave that space in that room. I honor that. So go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, who you are, what you do, and all the things.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Such a beautiful introduction. My name is Sal. I am Sal Pollard. I'm a manifestation coach. I help women manifest money. Really, you can use manifestation for anything, but I figure what is getting in the way of stopping us from being as abundant and wealthy and rich, not from a money perspective, but just from choice, freedom, opportunity, lifestyle, to have all the things that we're actually intended to have. And that's the big missing piece right there. We don't realize that it's intended for us. So it's giving ourselves permission to tap into that resource that's there for all of us.
And you and I have played what do you want to call it? We played tag in our messages back and forth because we were like, how about this day? And then no, that's not gonna work. And then how about this day? You know what? I don't know that that's gonna work. And we're here today. And I was just saying before we hit go that I think it's so timely. Spirit always has, always divine time,
Mm.
always. And look at us coming together in the beginning of a new calendar year, and I really want to talk about this. I want to get your perspective because I know you're in the
Yeah.
energy. I know you channel on your own. You might not go out and tell everybody that, but I'm gonna put you on blast. I know that you do, okay?
We all do. We all
We
do.
all
We
do
just don't talk
exactly.
about it.
No, we don't. We need to, but that's my thought, my opinion. I want to talk to you about this from two angles. One, we are in a calendar year, a
Mm.
new one, right? But we are still in the astrological year of the snake. So I would love for you to share with us some of the things that you are encouraging your clients right now to shed in anticipation for this beautiful new year that's coming in so that they could be the most prosperous, so that they can be the most abundant. What are you sharing quietly behind the scenes with all of your people right now?
That's a beautiful question. It's a bit of a common theme between a lot of them, and it's all, am I really worthy and deserving of having this thing? It's shedding the self image that we used to hold on to, and it's stepping into giving ourselves permission of the self image that we are. And people would have heard it before, but it really is. It's not moving away from the things that say you can't have it. It's remembering why you can have it. It's remembering why it's possible. You don't become the new version of yourself. I mean, you do, but you also give yourself permission to be who you want to be. So the shedding that is going on, and it's really funny because I have some private clients, but I also have my group and my mastermind. And whenever one person comes up with an issue, it seems to reverberate, and everyone else seems to have the same issue as well. Everyone's mirrored, and they're all on the path and the journey at the same time. So much of it at the moment has been just, am I really worthy and deserving of this thing that I desire? And the conversations just go on from there. We know our desires are there for a reason. We know that they're not coincidence, they're not random, they're not an accident. They're there because that is what we are is supposed to have. It's intended for us. It's designed for us that way. And it's really just recognizing that we are worthy, we are deserving. I say to them so often, when you think about a brand new baby that's born and it's that divine little bundle in the fetal position, and you look at it and you think, oh my God, there is so much potential for you. The world is your oyster. You can have anything and do
Yes.
anything. And it's like, where is this baby forging its way? And inevitably, life gets in the way of that forging. When we look back at that newborn, there's nothing we wouldn't do for them, say that they weren't worthy or deserving of having. Nothing's changed. 20 years later, 30 years later, 50 years later, nothing's changed. You're still that being. You're still that, um, the essence of who you are hasn't changed, but life got in the way and said that it couldn't. So it's really just peeling back the layer, shredding it to make them realize, oh my God, I can have it. I am worthy and deserving. I'm just as entitled as the next person. Entitled probably isn't the right word, but
No, it is.
deserving, you know?
It's not deserving, isn't it is entitled. You know what I mean? Like we won't shrink here. We are
No.
entitled to it because we're divine beings in form. And like you're saying, it is the remembrance of our innocence and our sovereignness and our divinity.
Yeah.
We are creators. We are part of the creator. And so we came here to forge the way, like you're saying, and we came here to create from our desires constantly, right? But what does get in the way is that unworthiness and that feeling of being greedy. Well, I
Yeah.
have a good life. I shouldn't be asking for, I don't want to rock the boat. That's one of the phrases that I hear so much. Like, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to ask for too much. If I reach too, I don't want to be disappointed, right? But none of that is a possibility when we remember who we are, what
Yeah.
we're made up of.
Yeah.
We're made up of God force energy that can create worlds because
Yeah.
God creates worlds or
Yeah.
source or the divine or whatever it is that you lean into with your faith. Like that is absolutely so potent and powerful. And what I'm hearing you share is that right now in this beautiful, we're still in that snake shedding, and it's even more potent right now because it's really truly asking us to go deeper with what it is we're shedding to make sure we're really pulling out the weed at its base and not just leaving a little bit there, that could potentially grow back, right?
Yeah.
And what's really cool about what you're sharing is that it is the remembrance of the version, but more so the identity. That feels more locked in for me. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
what you are sharing is an identity that we have to remember, and that manifestation comes from that connection, that alignment to it. And so we're shedding away all the things that have blocked us from really really getting more connected to ourselves, more connected to the divine, more connected to what we want to create.
And that's exactly right. And what is our our identity is our desires. The reason we have a longing for something is because in another realm, on another frequency, on another vibration, it exists. That is the life that we already play out. It
Yes,
already
yes,
exists.
yes,
So
absolutely.
it's realizing that your desires aren't greedy. Your desires are where you're supposed to be. There and the ripple effect of the goodness, it when there's a tragedy, I'm in right down in southern Victoria in Australia over summer, and there was flash flooding yesterday. I hope no one lost their lives, but there have been bushfires not far from it where we have had all natural disasters here. And the ripple effect of those disasters spreads far and wide, and it's felt throughout the rest of the country. It's felt everywhere. We had a disaster just 20 kilometres. I'm not sure how much that is in miles for you guys, but not far down the road. And everyone was contacting us saying, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? My point being, the ripple effect of anything that positive that happens to us spreads so far and so wide. So when you are in a place where you are following your desires, where
Yeah.
you're lit up, where you feel good, where maybe you have the money, the wealth, to be able to throw money at the problem, sort this out, fix that, you're less stressed. You're a better mum, you're a better partner, you're a better individual because you're happy, you're fulfilled, you're excited. And when you are those things, everyone you come into contact with is those things. So, you buy something from the shops and you're a little over enthusiastic with your greeting, or when you speak to the person at the cash register, at the checkout, and you've just lit up their day because there they are in their mundane day, probably having someone a little rude coming before you or after you, and you've just shared a little bit of your light. And when we
Yes.
step into our own light, the ripple effect, but because it's positive, we don't talk about it and we don't realize it, but it is no
Right.
different from the negative ripple effects from, natural disasters. But we're just, you know, this is, I
Conditioned. Yeah.
so conditioned, and I really feel that it is just our responsibility, all of us, to be the best version of ourselves so
Mhm.
that we can be the best version for everyone else. And this is how we all start to, if we really want to get into it, raise the consciousness of everyone really, and raise
Yes.
everyone up. And that in itself just spreads so far and wide.
Absolutely. If I subscribe to the idea that, God works through me first before any of the works can support somebody else. In order for me to be a blessing to other people, I first have to be blessed because the creator moves through me first. And then what is provided because of it, created because of it, stepped into because of it, shared or talked about because of it, that is because I allowed myself to be an open vessel
Yeah.
for that consciousness to move through, You're so like I really really like I know the devastation that's happened in Australia, from natural disasters to even some of the terror stuff that's been going that happened as well. And you are very right, and I think that it is very purposeful, whether you intended it to be or not. Like I felt that impact in me as you compared the two,
Yeah.
because you're so right. Like we are conditioned to go, oh my gosh, this huge thing that just happened, oh my gosh, and we take ourselves to a depth. But when that small, which it isn't, act of kindness happens, we don't go to such a space within us, and we really should be, because if
We
we can
really
take
should.
just that, go ahead.
I agree. I agree. We really should. And I experienced it yesterday. We drove from one town, Lawn, to Aries Inlet. This is all the Great Ocean Road. Anyway, we had no food, so we had to drive to the next town, which was, I don't know, another 15, 20 minutes drive. Stopped and got a much needed coffee, and thinking, what are we going to do? Are we okay? Everyone, do we stay here? Do we go? We had no food. We had no power at the time, and so it was, I mean, it was not major, but it made you just stop for a minute and think of what was
Amen.
needed. And we got a
Amen.
coffee, and the woman said, oh, she gave me the coffee, and she said, oh, here you go, gorgeous. And I just went, I am. Thank you. In this one time, I am. And it's those little moments that when we hold that energy within ourselves, one of the things I like saying is happy people aren't mean. If you're happy, you're just that sickening person that wants to spread the love, which used to make me a little bit sick when I was not happy and before I entered into this work. But everything that you're talking about, I completely resonate with, but there was a time when I didn't. And I think probably one of the important things to just acknowledge is that, you know, people might be thinking, oh, well, that's fine for you. God works through you. What about me? I'm over here and nothing's happening. I used to be that person. I used to think those things, but it's whether or not we allow the possibility of recognizing that we're no different, that we have the same gift, if we allow it in, if we welcome it in, if we recognize it, because this is our free will. We all have free will. We have
Absolutely.
free will to welcome it in or to not.
Yeah, and that's it. It's the free will to choose. You can
Yes.
choose the human version of you, which is the egoic space. The ego is always going, oh, that sounds great for you. It'll never happen for me. That
Yes.
sounds amazing for that person, but I will never be able to afford that. That's great for them, but I am not that good or talented. Like, that's your ego, that's your human, because your soul knows different.
Yeah.
Your soul knows different, and your
Yeah.
soul is connected to that vortex of prosperity and
Yeah.
abundance that wants to come forward, that needs to supply you so that you can make the impact you came here to make. It is not a coincidence, like at
It's
all, that you are here right now working in this timeline, in this time space, in this reality, because you have something to give and you have something to serve. And even if it is to shift your perspective around something, to, nurture and care for, humanity in ways like raising children, being a teacher, going out into the world and being of service in some other way. Like, don't discredit at all and compare yourself at all to what you think there's these other levels and these other lives. And no, yours is just as valuable and just as potent and just as on time as anybody else's.
100%, 100%. And a lot of the things that I also say, to my clients, and is if it feels good, if it lights you up, that's the direction you're supposed to go in. We're supposed to feel good. So, does your body sort of expand and you feel yourself leaning into it and you think, yes, this feels good. You think, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Don't need to know how. As long as you just go with it. But anything that makes you feel contracting and, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. This is wrong decision. We're not supposed to do that. But, it gets a little complicated now, but, oh, we should do this. And there's an obligation here and a this there. But it takes that real strength to not be responsible for other people's feelings, not in a callous way, but to put you first, to do what's right for you first, because then when you feel fulfilled, like I was saying earlier, then you end up sharing that love. You don't do the thing out of a place of resentment and hostility, because that translates as well, that echoes as well. So it's really, yeah,
You know,
I love it.
and I do too. And to my entrepreneurs, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that will listen to this, the same thing applies when you're trying to put an offer out. You're trying to put a session of some sort or an opportunity of some sort. If you're doing it because you have to, because that money has to come in, because this is the only way that works, we really want to apply the same technique that she's sharing. If it lights you up, it's going to sell. If it lights you
100%.
up, it's going to sell. If it lights you up, there are people already lined up to receive what lit you up because it lit you up, right? So like this is and it's one of those things that can become, like you're saying, tricky, because again, we've got these human needs that sometimes get so much louder than our spirit, which is always whispering to us, keep going, keep going, keep going, you know what I mean? But this human thing, I've got to do the mortgage, I've got to do the electric bill, I've got to make sure I pay for my Wi-Fi, I have to make sure my car note's taken care of, oh my goodness, the kids need braces, oh my goodness, like there's always going to be something. We need to accept that first and foremost. When we accept it, we can let it go, because we will always be provided for. Always be provided for. Yeah.
Totally. And, with the entrepreneur, that's such a good point, particularly when people are doing business online. This person has this strategy and it works so well, and this person has this strategy. It's like, what the F? Which strategy do I go with? And, the overwhelm. What works for some person may or may not work for you. It doesn't matter. What matters the most is the energy that you carry behind it. Everything you do is a translation of the energy that you're in when you do the thing. So if you do the strategy and you're doing you're doing the offer, but your energy isn't 100% behind the offer, get your energy behind what it is that you're doing, because people relate to energy. They don't relate to a strategy. And the reason that we know this is true is because so many people have so many different strategies and they all work for everyone. It's what is right for you, for your energy.
One of the areas I want you to speak on is, okay, so we get ourselves primed by feeling the energy, the good feeling energy of having our desire, of
Mm-hmm.
connecting with our desire. We've
Mm-hmm.
primed ourselves. There's momentum here. This is where I see a lot of people stop because one, it feels so good to be here, truthfully. And two, right? Because holy smokes, this is great. I haven't felt this good in a minute, but two, they don't know that it's in this space that God, source divine, your guides, your angels will drop in that creative action that is going to
Yeah.
lead you. So we are not by any means here to tell you to get to that good feeling state and just hold it. Yes, but no, because there has to be some exports. There has to be some sort of emitting it out for it to be caught by those around you. Like you have to go after what that next step is that's going to lead you towards the abundance,
Yeah.
lead you towards the manifestation.
Yeah.
Like we have to make sure that there is that action. The thing that I've told clients multiple times, and I'm sure you're going to give it in different detail, which is always amazing. If you lose that connection to yes, yay, you've come out of alignment in some way.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you can take that action and it still feels powerful and exciting, and I have a mentor that calls it juicy as hell, like, yes, then go, keep going, you know what I mean? But if at any point something shifts, stop, pull your energy back, evaluate, look at it. Did I do that post because I had to? Was I checking my inbox to really see if somebody said yes? Like, where is this energy Where is this within me, and what is it doing? Is it in that same integrity? Because if it's not, you got to clean that up.
Totally, totally. I speak about it in a different way. I talk about vibrations. So
Okay,
here
go
you
ahead.
are. So we've got infinite vibrations, infinite possibilities, infinite in the quantum field. And I get my little pen and I write 1,000 lines. And I say, you're here and you want to get to here. There's nothing to say that you can get there. Anything to say that you can't get to here, it's negative, it's a lie. Because remember, anything good feels positive. Anything to say that you can't have your desire is a lie. It's an absolute lie. So we rewrite those lies. But then you want to get to here, feel the feeling of being there in the success, feel what it feels like to see the clients sign up, to have the people ask you to be on a podcast, to uh, see the money in your bank account, what is to have the love of your life proposed, like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Feel the feelings of being in it and just simmer in it, just simmer in it, simmer in it, simmer in it. And then sort of release and let it go, but then stay in that space. You might feel deluded. It's fine. We're supposed to be deluded. This is how we bring it together, but stay in that space. And then you might get an idea. Oh my God, I should post this, call this person, email this person, update my profile, whatever. It doesn't matter. Follow that idea. But the idea should feel effortless. It should be something that makes you feel good. It should be uh, that idea is the stepping stone that leads you to the next step, because when you've moved up the vibration to where you want to be and you hang out there, your energy is there. So what you're doing is you're attracting the how you're a magnet all the time. Our beings are a magnet. So when we move into what we want and we stay there, the how is attracted to us, just like the money is attracted to you, just like the person, the soulmate, the business opportunity. Everything is attracted to you on that state. So that inspired inspiration, the inspired action, it's a huge piece that's missing, I think, for a lot of
Time.
people.
Big
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Big time. And then, but even so, let's walk. Let's keep walking here,
You
Sal. Let's
sure?
keep walking, right? So we've built the momentum, we've take the inspire action, and nothing's happening yet.
It
And
didn't
now
happen in the 3 minutes I
yeah,
wanted it.
instant gratification out the window. Like, what do we do when we're still sitting day five and there's
Love
not
this
a
question.
manifestation? Dude, what?
We 100%, it's happening. It's happening. There is no room for fear. There is no room for doubt. This is who I am. This is who I'm being. This is how we direct this source energy that you were talking about earlier. This is how we direct it, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sure everyone knows about Abraham Hicks. 99% of your manifestation is done behind the scenes where you can't see it. So maybe it doesn't take 5 days, maybe it takes 7, maybe it takes 15. We don't know. So I think one of the biggest things is really nurturing and developing that faith, that relationship with spirit, source, angels, God, universe, whatever your language is. I think there's an element where you really have to nurture that relationship and trust that if it's not this, it's something better. If this doesn't work out, then this is going to work out, because you might have an idea of what it is that you want. And, you know, any manifestation coach will say, well, swim in the feeling of already having it. So you
Mhm.
swim in the feeling of already having it. You have an idea of what you want. You're taking the inspired action. What your reality is, the reality that's being attracted to you, it might not look like the one that you have in your imagination,
Mhm.
because the one in your imagination, maybe there's one a little bit better, or maybe there's one a little bit different. The first time I was explained this, it really hit home. Someone was wanting to manifest their dream house, and so they pictured their dream house, the white picket fence and the this and the that and the fireplace and blah 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 blah. And they pictured it and pictured it and pictured it. Only, who's to say that that particular home's not their home? Because what if the roof leaks? And now they have this idea of wanting to live in this home, and they have these amazing feelings, but they're not going to have the amazing feelings when the roof leaks. However, whatever feelings you've been holding for that perfect home, the perfect home will come to you, the home that you will live in with those feelings, not when the roof's leaking.
Right, right. And it's releasing the attachment to the
It's
person
releasing the attachment.
and
It's,
the
yeah,
vision.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, because that's
It's
what we can
it's the
get ourselves to.
feeling. It's not the form that it comes in, it's the feeling that we give it. And so if it doesn't come up in 5 days, then it doesn't matter. I'm in charge of this ride. I'm choosing this story. I have faith, I have certainty, I know it's on its way to me. I am God's favorite, spirit, angels, what universe, it would never leave me behind. I am the universe's favorite. What princess wants, princess gets. Like, you have
Amen.
to be
That's right.
almost, arrogant about it, but it's that arrogance that moves mountains. It's that arrogance that makes things happen. Not the arrogance, maybe delusion, but it's the belief and the faith that, oh, this is happening. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, anything negative that's happened in our life, we've said to us, oh, this is happening. It's the same certainty, but just on a different scale.
I know. It's so good. It's so good. And uh, when it comes to basic, okay, my guides are over here, and I'm like, one at a time, please. I've got yours, I've got mine. It's like a chatter room right now. Well, I would love for you. Oh my gosh, I'm so assertive today. Do you like this energy or what? Like, I am in it. I would love for you to share some basic practices or basic tools. If I'm fresh to this whole situation, I sometimes will go to a mentor and say, treat me like I've got no clue what we're talking about here. Like, literally, sometimes you just need to go back to square one, to ground zero, back there at start, because somewhere along the way you mucked it up or you got confused or like, what was I doing again? Like, do you know what? I call it perimenopause, but I digress. Give us some of your simple, go-tos, tools or practices that you give your clients that we could start to implement right now as we get ourselves geared up and ready for the fire horse season, which is right there at the end of March for our new astrological year. Like, we're purging, we're letting go. Give us some tools, something juicy to hold us over between now and when the fire horse takes over.
So I love this question. So if you are new to the space, I would say consider that you're an extension of source energy, the same way a sunbeam is an extension of the sun, the same way a wave is still connected to the ocean. You are source energy. And we know this has been proved, and we can go into the detail. But if there is a part of you that resonates with that, it's because a part of you knows that's true. There's this, when we get goosebumps, it's because there's truth in whatever it is that we've heard. So part of you is you are an extension of source energy. The first thing I would say is start to lean into that, start to be aware of that, start to understand that. When you start to understand that, we're really getting on top of the game, because you realize now that you can create your life. You realize what's possible. A lot of people around this point freak out because they're like, oh, good Lord, look what I've created. But this is where we be fun and we be playful, and it's just forgiveness and no judgment, and you didn't know any better. You didn't know until now. My history was very different, and only do I look back now and think, no wonder I created that mess. That's exactly what I was in it for. But then it's really understanding that you can have anything. Anything is possible. Everything is available. We are the light. We are part of the creator. We are here to give. We are here to enjoy. Uh, we're here to impart our happiness, our goodness, love, all of that. We are all here for that. And when we drop the ego, when we let go of the ego, when we give ourselves permission to just look stupid by not holding on to our attachment to prove you wrong so I can prove myself right, and all these small things, we then start to lean into the true meaning of all of this, of what it is that we're here for, and we start to give ourselves a little bit of permission to go further. So what is it that you want? Just what is it that you want? Knowing that anything is possible, anything is available. If no one would be angry at you, mad at you, judge you, if no one took their love away from you, what would you want? And that's the first stepping stone. And that is, follow
Mm-hmm.
that, lean into that. And then it's a mix between letting go of all the reasons that say you can't have it, of all the things that hold you back in the past, and being in this moment now, having our
Yes.
consciousness in this moment now. And when we do that, we create a new future for ourselves.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Like I so love that. And the thing I would also like preface, I would preface it, I would give a little asterisk to it, and I know Sal's going to agree as well. When you speak on the vibration, when you are looking at this, when you're taking this on, the thing I would invite you to do is not attempt to go from 0 to 60. Like give yourself that space to really lean into and create without feeling like you have to rush to the finish line. Okay, I'm source energy. God's my favorite. This is what I want. Bring it to me now. Like you haven't given yourself enough time. The way we're speaking on it in the reality right now is we haven't given our nervous system enough time to catch up to us. We have to give our nervous system enough time to catch up to us. And so this is a process that we lean into, that we have faith with, and faith for me is the belief in something we don't see yet.
Yes.
That's faith. I believe that I'm going to have it. I don't see it, but I believe for it. Everything around me is telling me different, but that's okay because I believe for it. I'm holding that vision. I'm holding that space. I'm holding that state of being, and everything is going to come to me. And you'll start seeing breadcrumbs. That's the other thing is look for those signs and synchronicities. They are your guides or spirit, your ancestors, your angels' way of saying, we heard you, we've got this. We heard you, it's on its way. We heard you, keep tuning in. We heard you, keep expanding. We heard you, stay in it. Because that's really truly, it's going to be the greatest lesson that you learn, and the receiving of it is going to be like, of course I did. Of course I did. Of course I did. Of course
Of
I live here now. Of course I drive that car now. Of course I make that kind of money. Of course I did. You know what I mean? So it's so good. Sal, will you tell us where we can find you? Where can we come hang out? Where can we learn more? Where can we join a program or get a class or download that PDF that is just going to take it to the next level?
Of course, Jacqueline. I'm on Facebook, Sally Pollard, and I am on Instagram, Sal Pollard, at Sal Pollard. I'm Sal Jane on Instagram. So I have a manifestation mastermind where I take women on a journey for 6 months to help support them, and we delve so much deeper into what it is that they want. Usually money, other things come up, but it's particularly money, how much they want, and it's being a vibrational match to that. So I've got a lot of women in my mastermind that I've worked with privately, and we all come together, and it's this supportive, beautiful, uplifting environment where we just get caught in the positive energy because there's so much negative energy around. It's the energy of the people that you're in their company with. So that is where I am, and I have the manifestation mastermind that you can join if you feel called to manifest more money, know how to be a vibrational match to more money.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to make it so freaking easy, friends. So easy. I'm going to put all these links in the section down there below so that you can tune in to the show notes or wherever you're finding us and make sure that you can get connected with this incredible soul because it will be life changing. I guarantee it. All right. Well, I'm going to have an amazing night. I want you to have an amazing day. Does tomorrow look okay? Are we okay for tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, like you're in tomorrow. Like I'm in
Tomorrow.
yeah,
My,
yeah,
you,
yeah. Yeah.
tomorrow's good. Tomorrow's overcast. Tomorrow's overcast, but it's looking good.
I love it. I love it. So freaking good. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us on the Sovereign Soul podcast. I
Thank
will
you,
see you all next
Jacqueline.
week. You're so welcome. Bye.
Bye.